Okay guys, tools to use on a map. Some of the more common ones are map protractors. We spoke about this earlier. What these are readily available, and it's a way that we do, like we've talked about, navigate onto the map itself, how we get coordinates. Well, these vary greatly in size and quality. Now, these are old military surplus. This one is from 1971. This one's from 1981. This one's from 1981. I've, as you can tell, had them a long time. And they do serve a good purpose, but the new modern ones you can buy are actually a little bit better. And I'll tell you why. Usually the modern ones are made of a better, more UV stable. This is a thicker version. And as you might be able to see in the videos, it cracks. And they're also an odd size because how do you carry this in the field? Now what this is really for is for calling in artillery. Out here on the edge you've got all the fine mills for calling in precision. And as you can see with this one, I've taken masking tape and went around the edge so that when I lay it down on the map I can see those numbers very clearly. And this small one actually works a little bit better for me. It also has the 1 to 50,000 grid in the upper corner. This is the one that I've had the longest really and has done the best for me. However, as you can see, it's yellow. That one's clear. This one is yellow. And it shows up okay on maps, but it's kind of hard to see the numbers sometimes. And that's the reason, as you can see, I put masking tape and mine's already cracked. The coating is starting to bubble up. So when you buy these, I really recommend you just get the little 1 to 50,000 corner grid, and you can get these pocket ones today, and I'll put a link at the end of this, which is just simply this square. That's much smaller, and it will slide into a compass pouch and be readily available instead of this thing, which does not fit with anything. I mean, it's really too big and bulky. You try to carry it in a cargo pocket, it's just going to crack. That's what happens to these. It's really a classroom thing that, yeah, you can use it in the field, but in real life, I recommend you get just the corner that has the 1 to 50,000 grid, and then have a straight edge. Now, we're going to modify one of these in an upcoming video, and I'll show you how to turn this into a more useful tool. Colored pencils for marking on the map. Very handy. It allows me to mark my route clearly and distinguish points and features on that route. For example, I can use the orange for marking my route, the blue for marking water sources, the green for marking other things, the pink for marking places where I found good campsites, things like that. It allows me to set up on my map a reference point. These are very inexpensive, easy to carry along, and slide down into a pack pretty easily. If you're going along and you're marking your territory with it, very easy to do it, and it's erasable. So should I not want to keep it permanently, I get rid of it. One of these field carriers for the notebook, like we discussed. This allows me to have a readily accessible notebook that I can slide into my cargo pocket of my BDU pants, pull it out, flip it open, and use it for my land nav. Now, we've already discussed this, but I'm going to go over it again for the people who have not been there. You want to have a land navigation notebook. Inside the front cover is where you're going to mark your pace count, your times, and things like that, carrying a pack, without a pack, so that you can have a reference point later on, because it might be a while before you come back and do land nav, and you don't want to get these numbers mixed up. For example, is my pace count 63 or 67? My pace count for me personally was 63 when I was 18 years old. Now at 52, my pace count is 67. So I need to have that written right here so I remember it clearly. Also, things like my times, my average time over 100 meters in rough terrain, and etc. That's a reference point to me. Now, what we're going to do in here is we're going to plot on the map, and we're going to put our route and etc. down here, so that if for whatever reason I get turned around and I cannot remember what that heading was. I got it. It's right there. I can bring it up and go, okay, it was, oh yeah, it was the heading of such and such. Also, when I get home and I take my permanent map, now we haven't discussed this, but what I think would be a good time to bring it in. I have my field map that I'm going to fold up real small, and I'm going to take to the field, and it's for me using actually out here. And I'm going to mark on here. When I get home, if there's something I want to remember about this area, I have a map that stays home. So that's the reason I recommend you get 2 copies of every map. And that map at home, with these coordinates and things off of my log, and these colored markers and pens, I will permanently mark on that map that hunting site, that camping site, that canoe route, that trail I went, the scout I went, and etc. So I have a master map at home. And up here on the top of it, I'm going to write master map. And that way, if I move off, if I've stopped going to this area and I'm going over that area, and 10 years later, I come back and I'm trying to remember where that camping area was, where that hunting area was, I pull out my master map. And there's all the coordinates marked down, there's everything marked down so that I can find it. It's also very helpful in the fact that I'm going into the wilderness area, my family back home. If I don't come home, they know here's the copy of the map that I'm using, it's marked in the areas that I'm going to, and I have left a little agenda of where I'm going to be. So I'm going to be in this area, and I'll have written that down before I left. So at least I got someplace to start looking. Okay, now how to carry the map in the field. You can get these maps which are printed on waterproof paper. I really recommend those, and they're like $8-something a map, $8 or $10 a map, I'm not exactly sure off the top of my head. But they're really well worth it, because this is going to be something, if I accidentally do a dunking, my map is not going to come apart on me so easy, or being in the rain, or sweat, or etc. But it's also a pretty good idea to get some sort of way of carrying the map in the field. Now, these are readily available. This is a map case that has loops on the end, and it's velcroed and it's zippered shut, and it's for attaching to a pack. I like to use this on a canoe because I can put it up here in front of me and see reference points to the water right here in front of me. And if I splash a little water on it, this heavy vinyl protects it. U.S. military type map case. Surplus, you can find these all the time. Heavy Condor nylon on the back, vinyl plate on the front, protected. This is not waterproof, guys, but it is a way to carry the map in the field and keep it from getting dirty easily. These kind of map cases which you pick up are designed to be worn around the neck, and you can put the map in. This is very quick for orienteering and map navigation. I have 2 sizes of these, and they're velcroed shut. This is not a waterproof bag, it's a water resistant bag, we'll say. It'll handle a little dunking, it'll handle a little splashing, it'll handle a little rainstorm, and etc. And it can be used as an emergency water carrier, but the seal is not 100%. So don't think I can submerge it and never ever worry about it again. You still got to use a little common sense with these bags. Now I've got a map that I can clearly see through, and at the same time it's protected. I can wear it around my neck, I can tie it to the pack, tie it to the four-wheeler or whatever, and I've got a reference point that I can look at. Okay? Masking tape. Very handy for putting on the back of tractors, repairing maps, marking off areas, and making little tick marks. Now, I'm going to cover this in another video, but by putting the masking tape onto the back of, say, a ruler, a straight edge or something, I can also turn around and use this for tick marks for measuring distance, and I'm going to show that in a video on the map. So masking tape is very handy to have. Of course, your compasses, your other navigation tools. I do not recommend night navigation unless you've been trained to it. It's too complex, too complicated, and too dang easy to get hurt out there and get a mechanical injury. So compasses and things that glow in the dark like the Kaminga are really kind of wasted on the civilians, because yeah, they'll give you a general direction, but actually navigate in the dark, that's a whole different kind of voodoo, guys. Don't risk it. unless it's life and death, don't even attempt it. It's too easy in the dark, walking along, trying to follow the compass bearing, to walk into a sharp stick to jab you in the eye, to step off into something, break a leg, or to get injured. So it's just not worth it. Hunker down, wait for daylight, and then navigate your way out. Hope this gives you some ideas, guys. I'm Blackie for Shaman's Forge Bushcraft, wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.